Unbanked is generally understood to mean adults who don't use banks or banking institutions in any shape or form. So when we hear stats about the unbanked population, we're generally talking about the percentage of adults in a given country who don't have a bank account. But we're also interested in what's often described as the underbanked population. These are typically people who have a bank account but also use alternative financial services. So you might have a bank account, but in addition to that you're also using things like money orders or payday loans. Either because banks in your country aren't making the services you need available to you, or because, for a variety of reasons, you just don't want to use the traditional financial system. If you're like me and have had a bank account since childhood, this probably seems like a pretty alien concept. But these two groups make up a huge proportion of the global population. The World Bank estimates that nearly 1.7 billion people globally are unbanked. Precise figures for the underbanked are a bit harder to calculate, but in the US, for example, the latest figures from the Federal Reserve estimate that about 13% of the population fall into that bucket. So there's still a long way to go to build a financial system that works for everyone. We're often critical of the status quo in financial services, and rightly so, because we want the whole system to evolve and improve for everyone. But there are undoubtedly still big benefits to being in the system that unbanked and underbanked customers miss out on. Deposits held at a bank are generally subject to protection schemes and can earn you interest, and using bank credit cards can help you build a credit file to access lending. Plus, many of the alternative financial services that unbanked and underbanked people typically end up using can ultimately be more expensive. For some people, it's a genuine choice to manage their finances in this way, but for others, they simply don't have access to the financial services that they need, and that needs to change. Historically, lots of financial institutions haven't been particularly interested in banking these customers. You're much more likely to find high proportions of unbanked people in developing markets like Morocco or Egypt, or amongst low-income groups in developed markets, not the typical hunting grounds of traditional banks with big overheads to cover. But we are starting to see some signs of change. In the UK, for example, HSBC have partnered with Charity Shelter to help set up bank accounts for people with no fixed address. And we're seeing lots of other examples of fintechs trying to take the benefits of alternative financial services like payday loans and make them available in a more secure and affordable way, like Chime in the US, which allows customers to access their paychecks 2 days early to help manage bills and unexpected costs. As digital financial services become more and more established around the world, driven by fintech, the average cost to serve each customer should get lower. Morally, there's always been a need to build services for unbanked and underbanked customers, but with such huge numbers of these people globally, it's starting to make commercial sense too, and fintech is playing a massive part in that.